today I've made a decision about my future.
All right.
And I've just spoken to the players and the chairman. I won't be coaching at Hull KR beyond the end of this year. I'm going to step aside and hand it over to the next person to pick up the banner and carry it strongly. It saddens me to say it, but I think it's the best thing for the organisation. And I really, really have enjoyed coaching these special group of players and love the support that I've been given here by all the supporters. So it's been great. And before anybody asks, no, I haven't got the job at Leeds. It won't be me that's announced. And there is no other job that I'm leaving for, or it's just a decision that I've come to. I haven't been in negotiations as such. We aren't talking about money issues here. It's just the right thing to do, and it's the right time to announce it. The players understand that. It gives the club an opportunity to get out there and find the right and suitable replacement, and the players deserve that. They deserve the best they can get. And it also gives me a chance to look for my next venture, wherever that may be, and hopefully that'll come. But we'll see. But I've thoroughly enjoyed my time coaching here and will continue to do so. And as my players have just been made aware, and my chairman, I will be 100% committed to the team and the club until hopefully it'd even be as long as grand final day would be my preferred final day.
What's prompted it? What's prompted you to leave, Tony?
I probably haven't been able to have the influence that I'd like in the entire organisation, and that's the simple truth. And sometimes that happens, within organisations. Not everybody are best friends, and sometimes some people operate better without other people around, and I'm hoping that's the case. So, I'm stepping aside. I don't want this club to suffer in any way, shape or form. I don't think we're all connected up exactly how we need to be and should be. And I'm playing a fair role in that. And I don't like to see the club not at 100% operations-wise. And so therefore, it means for me to make way. It's not healthy for the club, and it's not healthy for me either. So yeah, when you're not completely, there's at ease with things, it has an effect on you, and I don't want it to, because I've been so happy here, and I've been so happy with the team and the coaching staff that I've got. They're really special people, and so I want to keep the good memories going.
Can you be a bit more specific about what's
Nope.
caused the fracture?
Nope.
So do you know what you're going to do, or are you just...
No idea. No idea, mate. That's what I said. I've got no other club to go to. I've got no other. I love coaching. I want to keep coaching. Don't care what level it is. I've enjoyed, I enjoy the journey. I think I'm good at creating culture and a winning mentality and a successful mentality. Most places I've gone, I think I encourage enjoyment for players and people. And, if I can do that and continue to do that and help young people get better, I'd love to. I'll continue to do that with my time here, and I'll give every ounce that I can to enjoy it and make sure that everybody involved enjoys it. These young people are, and the leaders within this group are fantastic. They're just really good people.
Tony.
On to the game, eh?
Well, one
Okay.
or two more questions, obviously. You've turned this club around. Do you leave with a heavy heart that it's a job not finished?
Oh, listen, when's it ever finish? Whenever you leave somewhere, you leave with a heavy heart and you've invested a lot into it. And who knows it's not finished. We haven't read that chapter yet, have we?
What's the players' reaction been, Tony?
They're good boys. They like honesty, and I'm honest with them. They understand.
They'll be shocked though, won't they?
Oh, yes and no. Yes and no. I don't think they're silly either in terms of, making sure that it was completely happy. I, would have done something earlier and sooner and all that sort of stuff. But, I was just focusing on them, making sure that they're okay. And they're fine. They're fine. I think they have respect in me and me and them to understand and not to make it difficult for each other, in any way, shape or forms. And as we just mentioned up there, we'll say our goodbyes when it's time to say goodbye. And now's not the time. Now's the time to get on with the competition and get on with the game for this week and not get distracted by any other outside influences.
What's Neil Hudgell's reaction been? Did he try and persuade you to stay?
I think once he knew that I'd spoken to the players, I think that ship had sailed. We get on really well, Neil and I, and very honest with each other, and I've been honest with him again today, and I respect him, and that's the way we handle things, and been straight up about all things. I don't hide things from Neil. He respects that, I think. But yeah, no, he understands, that unless we're all connected within how it can affect the club, and I seriously don't want to damage this club. It's come too far now to damage it, any further.
Such a shame, and the fans will certainly be shocked and upset at this news. Tony, have you got a message to them?
Yeah, they're fantastic. The people that we represent are honestly, if not the best. Well, I think they are. They turn up to support all of us every week, whether we're winning or losing, and they've played a huge part, an enormous part in the players in the club's improvement in the time that I've been here. They've been fully supportive. I really respect them, and it's going to be hard to leave them at the end of it, but I hope they can respect my decision also, and respect the club, and carry on supporting it in the best way possible. That's the beauty of this club, and they support the club and the badge, and long may that continue, regardless of results. We're gonna do our best to keep making them smile and entertain them, and reward them for their support. And I'll say my goodbyes to them at the appropriate times.
Anybody else want to pick it up?
Tony,
Yeah,
it's just Martin here. Yeah, obviously a bit of a bombshell you've hit us with today, but good luck for your future, mate. I just wonder whether you'd expect to sort of have some influence in who might get the job after you leave Hull Kingston Rovers, because obviously, with all this, you've got a tremendous insight into coaching and who might make a good coach to step into your shoes. Would you expect to be involved in that decision?
No, I'll leave that. I'll leave that, and I think they'll find the appropriate person. I'm confident about that, and I'm sure with their many links that they've had in the past, and that and their connections worldwide, I'm sure they'll be able to come up with and secure the right person.
And could I just clarify on your future? You obviously have said already that you want to stay in coaching. So if another club were to offer you a position that looked good for you from next season, you'd be happy to do that, assuming that the terms and conditions and everything else was right. You're not looking to take a break from the game, in other words, like you did when you left Warrington.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not looking to take a break. I've got my mojo, I've got my energy, I've got my passion. All those things are intact, Martin. I don't need to freshen up. I'm really, bouncing and, in terms of energy wise. And I just thank the players for how they've contributed to that. They've been a great bunch. They've helped me re-energise myself, and they've energised me with their support. And so I want to keep going. It's a shame that it's not with this group in many respects, because I've got so much time and respect for them, and they're enjoyable to work with, but they also understand, it's got to be right at all levels for people to be successful, and they respect that. And so I'll be open at the appropriate time, Martin. I'll be open to looking at wherever or whatever. I'm going to say it's coaching that I enjoy. It's that that part of it, dealing with the players, having an impact on them. Some of the rugby at times, I leave some of that to some of the other people within the organisation, meaning some of my assistant coaches, but also senior players. I have a fair say on style and all those sort of things, but and my views on entertainment as well, and and culture within the team, playing for one another, I think are the big things that I'm really into. And if I can help other people gain some experience in that, and bring some experience, well, good luck. And if nobody does need that, well, that's fine too.
I mean, you've been here for just about 3 years. I think it was June 2019 that you were appointed. And it normally takes a coach probably a couple of years to really get the squad that you want to play the game the way that you want it to be played. And you've done that. And I mean, the fascinating thing about you, I think you've probably signed more players, for example, local British players from the Championship, and given them an opportunity. And the vast majority have not let you down, I don't think. It's fair to say that. So you've got a unique approach in a sense, whereas other clubs have, go to players coming from the NRL and fork out a fortune. But you've had a fairly judicious mixture of those two elements.
Martin, I think in the business world, they class it at, if you get 50%, recruitment is about 50% right in the commercial world and the corporate world. I think it's probably a lower percentage in terms of rugby league when you're looking at the entirety of recruitment, of being highly successful recruits. In sport, it's very subjective, I suppose. You take a lot of risks, and we have to here take a lot of risks in who we recruit, and we probably don't have the biggest pool and there's desire to get to the best players and not a huge pool to choose from. So it's very competitive here. And sometimes, you got to go and find a gem here and there. But I tell you that the real answer to it is development, and I'd love us to do a better job of that in this country, develop young players, where we don't have as many, but develop them well, and spend more money as professional clubs on producing young players, bringing young players through. I think we top-ended a lot, spend a lot of money on, either overseas players or, overseas coaches and all sorts of stuff in order to get success. And and we probably don't do enough about the grassroots. And the sooner we get some laws and rules into place where we have to, produce certain amounts of players, I think that would be a good thing.
You've implied that you've had a disagreement with somebody within the club. Is that one of the subjects that you've disagreed about? That the club doesn't.
I haven't had a disagreement. There's probably some relationships aren't as close as they should be. And that's
right.
Rather than and don't compliment each other. That happens. That happens. Within families sometimes also. It does.
Yeah.
It's life. Not everybody compliments each other, and in terms of styles and ways we work, and I'm sure you've experienced it. Every one of you in there that you've experienced. A work colleague that doesn't quite, float your boat.
Doesn't quite gel. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's all. It's just part of life. It happens from time to time, and I'm trying to do the right thing by moving on and not causing any further discomfort for anybody. And myself as well. And you need to take care of yourself at once to make sure that you don't go any worse.
But you can confirm that you're not being forced out. This isn't somebody saying to you, "No, Tony, we're not going to give you a new contract."
We haven't. No,
mate, you're on your bike at the end of the year. That's not what's happened.
No, and it's not financial at all. It's not about they're not paying me enough money or anything, and none of that sort of stuff. It's more at a higher level of of how businesses should operate and how connected we all should be, and to be successful. And when you've got some people who don't see eye to eye and don't gel and don't pull in the same direction as one another and don't have the trust that you need to have, that affects the business, and it's not healthy. And it's so for those reasons, it's something's got to give, and the give is me at the back end of the year. In terms of I'll move on and get and allow the club to get the more appropriate person for the position, and that's really important that they do.
Okay, I'll hand on to anybody else now who wants to ask on.
Wakefield, we're playing Wakefield this week,
Yeah, well, yeah. I didn't ask you about Wakefield, Tony.
I'll ask you about Wakefield if you like. Tony?
Yeah, hang on.
Okay.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. Just carry on and what you got to say to Tony about that.
Sorry, Tony, can I just...
Hi, Dave.
Yeah, sorry, can I just throw one last one in? Does the next person who come in charge, does he or she have to have that influence across the organisation that you didn't get? Is that important, do you think?
I can't talk about who or what next, or that's not my role. I've told you my position and where I'm at, and what's going to happen in terms of my future. Any other questions I think need to be directed to the club about futures and whether they've looked or whether they've found anybody or whether they've got somebody lined up. All those things, that they're questions for you guys to ask somebody else later today, I believe.
All right. Cheers, Tony. Best of luck as well.
Thanks, Dave.
So, Tony, if I can just ask one quick one, it's Aaron, just before I pass you on. Hi.
Yeah.
I know names will start getting thrown around left, right and centre now. Danny's will obviously be a name that's considered, Danny Maguire. Is he ready to step up, do you think? I mean, I know you won't have a say in who gets the gig, but has he done his apprenticeship now? Is he ready for a head coaching gig?
Once again, I'm not going to answer any of these sort of questions. It's not for me to speculate. It's not, and I'm not going to push or not push for anybody. It's just not how I work. So yeah, no, I'm going to bow out of that one, Aaron. Thanks.
No worries. Thanks, Tony.
Hey Tony, it's James. Sorry, I'll
Hey,
just chime in. Yeah, you've caught me off guard there. Yeah, I'll be sorry to see you go, but what we were talking about last week about you leaving clubs in a better state than when you found them. Do you think you'll do that when you move on at the end of the year at OKR?
I would hope you could say that already. I would hope, you know, I'm hoping so. Yeah. Our season's far from over. We're doing all right, and you know, we think we can do a whole lot better than what we've done so far. You know, we think we're on the improve, and we're going to strive to continue to do that. So let's see how far it goes. But you know, I think you know, I think we're improved a long way from those years ago when took over, where we just escaped relegation or the relegation. It was great. The progress this year, James, was I'm not sure that I had any questions on press day, first press day this year regarding relegation. Every other year that I'd coached here, the first question was, do you think you can avoid relegation? You know, and it's, so that in itself is, you know, we're changed and changing. We're still in the process of, you know, changing people's perceptions, our own perception, we're changing that. You know, our belief in ourselves is changing, and, you know, we're optimistic. We're realistic, but we're optimistic too.
I know you love coaching this group of players. Is this tinged with sadness as well?
Absolutely, yeah. Oh, absolutely. I've told them that. I love them to bits, and you know, we've got a fair bit of trust with one another, and you know, I'm honest with them. I think they know that. Sometimes I have to deliver bad news to them, both on a personal level, in meaning for them, and they respect that and handle it. They understand that I don't enjoy some of those hard calls, but I think they understand that I've had to make a hard call about leaving them, and you know, at the end of the year. But we have pointed that out. It is at the end of the year, and until then, we're going to have fun, and we're going to keep enjoying what we're doing. That's been a big part of us. You know, enjoying the processes, enjoying the learning, enjoying our camaraderie, and you know, the closeness that we've developed here. And it really has been you know, a pleasure, but you know, it's been strong. You know, that commitment to one another. So that'll continue, and I'll continue a whole lot of, you know, friendships after this one. You know, after the final day, whenever that may be.
And we talked last week as well. You said not many coaches get to go off on the back of a grand final win like you did at Leeds. Be nice to do that again, wouldn't it? Do you think you're in good shape to do that?
Oh, listen, I'd love a crystal ball, James, and all that, and wouldn't it be another nice quote to get from me today? But no, listen, it'll be fantastic, wouldn't it? But that's what we're all striving for, by all means. You know, I don't think there'd be a team who would have set out this season without wanting to, you know, and dreaming about doing that. But it's the work in between, and the processes in between, and the steps that we all have to take in between will determine, you know, how successful we are. There's a pretty good team on the other side of the Pennines that, you know, their hand isn't far away from that trophy most years for the last number of years. And, you know, whether we're good enough to buy it away from them, we'll find out. But we're all chasing them. There's a whole heap of us chasing them, aren't we?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll push back to Graham. I'll chime in again in a bit. All right.
No worries.
Thank you.
Okay, let's turn to the match now after that bombshell, Tony.
Yep.
How are you looking injury-wise for the game against Wakefield?
Yeah, what have we got? Yeah, I've got to get my head on for. We've got a couple of bumps and bruises. Daggers a question as to whether he's going to make it. He's got a bit of a knee and ankle situation, so he's unlikely. And Matty Parcell is the other one. Sorry, yeah, Matty Parcell's had a HIA, and so he will definitely sit out this week. In terms of returning from injury or all having a break. Lachlan, Kane, and Albie definite to be in the squad. As to whether they make the final cut will be determined later in the week, but they're definitely in the squad this week.
Well, you suggested that with Ryan, with Lachlan Coote, that it was a judgment call on whether he could go around with the injuries that he had earlier in the season and whether it was too big a risk to take. Is that still the situation?
No. But it's just being smart about if somebody's not so long back had a hamstring injury, playing twice in 3 days and then sitting them on a plane and buses and isn't a wise thing to do. So we simply weren't going to take that sort of risk on somebody who'd had that kind of injury. So that could have been anybody. That could have been a 20-year-old Will Tate, if you like. We wouldn't have played him if he had the same experiences as or same injury that Cootie's just overcome. So no, it's just common sense not to jeopardise him.
And again, it's the same sort of situation with Kane Lynette, who's had his injuries this season. Is he still struggling with his injuries?
No, he's good. Once again, it's just taking care of people and making sure that they're not doing too much and in too short a recovery period. It was unfortunate, that he not so long ago had a bit of a calf strain, and they're one of the injuries that if you overplay that they definitely become worse. So we didn't want to do that to Kano, and he had a week's break. Well, no, he didn't. He just didn't have to play an extra game in 3 days.
Can I talk to you about Brad Takarangi?
Yep.
Where does he feature? Is he going to, is he going to play in the near future?
I hope so. Yeah, I hope so. I hope once he gets fit enough and in good enough form and match fitness, I hope to be able to select him for sure.
Is he in the right headspace at the moment, Tony?
Yeah. Yes. No. He's good. He's good at the moment, mate.
Okay. So you've got some selection dilemmas, haven't you? Because you got Dean Hadley back, and you had Ben Crooks in the side for Monday,
Yep.
and 2 wins presents you with some selection headaches, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's probably a few more than 2 wins, and we've changed the team a few times in that time, so that's no problem. We pick the team that's appropriate and make sure that we take care of our players and roll them around and rotate them. So we're doing that.
You said about Matt Parcell with the HIA. Is that a precaution, or does he have a? Because you also said that you thought it was a broken nose that he'd picked up.
Yeah, well, once you have certain signs or show certain signs, there's certain protocols that you've just got to go through. And once you've had a head knock of his capacity, he has to, have a 11-day break. It is now. So we're simply following those protocols.
Right. Okay. Let's turn to Wakefield themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They had a really good spell, and now they're having a really bad spell. What do you make of them at the moment?
Tough team to play. They're formidable forwards and some really good, exciting backs to watch, and half-backs. They're dangerous. They're a dangerous team. And I know they've had a couple of tough results in the last couple of weeks, but if you watched some of the games prior to that as well, they're dangerous. They're a good rugby league team. They're well coached by 2 very good coaches there that I've had experience with, and I know that they'll be primed up to get them back on track and they'll be a really difficult team for us this week.
I don't suppose you're a man that thinks about, past results and bogey sides and things like that, but Wakefield certainly have done a job on you in recent times, sometimes, haven't they?
I'm not sure of the record, Will. I don't go back. We're a different team this year. They are too. We certainly haven't gone back to look at last year's. We do look at footage from previous games, and that's all. But if you're asking if I'm superstitious, no, I'm not. I may put my left sock on more often than my right first. Aside from that, no, I'm not a big one for all those sort of things.
Willie Poaching's gone in there, taken over from Chris Chester. Do you think he's changed much at Wakefield?
Yeah, I think they're playing well. I think they're bought right into Willie's coaching style and Willie and Franny. Franny Cummins is there as his assistant. I think they're playing really well. They played well under Chris as well. But I think he's got them gelling well and playing for one another and doing a lot of very, very good things. So, yeah, I'm delighted for Willie and Franny. I hope they have a bit of a wobble again this week. But aside from that, I wish them well and I enjoy watching them. They're one of those teams that can, put on some nice plays and some nice tries and, but hopefully not this week.
You said about the fatigue element, and it's too much to ask for players to play on Good Friday and Easter Monday. But also the third game in quick succession can also be a big ask as well. Do you think that there's any danger of the fatigue level being on show?
I hope not. We've spoken about it, and then we're getting on with it. Pardon me. So hopefully not, but only time will tell. We are trying to prepare them in the best way possible to reduce or minimise the fatigue factor. We'll see if we got it right and when it comes to kick-off time on Saturday.
I think that's good for me, Tony. Thank you.
My pleasure. Any more? George King is waiting in the wings. He's ready for you, unless anybody's got anything else.
Tony, just a final one from me. Any reflections on the visit to Toulouse? Did you? It was 18-4 down, coming back to win. Any thoughts about that?
Yeah. Oh, listen, that was gutsy from my boys. We were ugly in the first half, in particular. Even in the second half, it was an ugly game of rugby league, as most of them were, I think, over the second part of Easter, and usually are. But gutsy, dug deep, found a way. A lot of character. I saw some boys who were tired 5 minutes into the game that pushed themselves all the way, and found a way for us. It was right up there in terms of gutsiness, or that fortitude, mental fortitude that you need. And these guys, I've never questioned them in terms of how they approach games in terms of effort and ethics and work, but definitely the brain wasn't working as quick as it needed to at times, but found a way. Just on Toulouse as a place to go, it was terrific. Really good experience. And, it'd be a shame, they're a long way off, the relegation battle. That can go on for a long time, and they may well clear that. And I wouldn't be surprised if they do. But for instance, geez, it'd be a shame, if they ended up at the bottom end and you lost.
Yeah.
Something like that. It's, even when you go there, the facilities are great. It's a beautiful city. I think they play some good rugby league. I think they've got a terrific coach, really do. And, you know, they've got the support building there. And I think in the future, the away crowds will build like it has at Catalans as well, and different time of the, you know, when we've just come through some stages that have probably prevented some people from travelling as many as they would like. But I think it will improve. It'll be a shame to lose Toulouse.
Do you think they should have been given something like a 3-year sort of
Absolutely, yeah.
stay, like Catalans did originally?
Absolutely. You know me, Martin.
Yeah.
You know me about the promotion relegation.
Yeah, well, indeed. Views which I completely share.
Don't get rid of anybody who's quality. Keep it in there. Why get rid of somebody who, you know, or an organisation that contributes positively to Super League? You know, expand by all means if you want, but make sure we're all contributing in the right way. And if we're not pulling our weight, well, then relegate. But, you know, I can only see that club getting stronger if given time.
Yeah. Okay, mate. Thank you.
Tony, just before you leave, and this might be a bit daft, but just to confirm, this is your decision. It's not a mutual decision.
I don't know what that. I'm trying to think about what the difference here is. Yeah, no, it's my decision.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, yeah, it's my decision. You know, I don't make. I kind of get it. You know, I think my last job at Warrington, it was a mutual thing. I think you know, we got to the stage where it was. But you know, I'm not sure that that's the case here. The chairman tells me he wanted me to stay, but yeah, it's a decision that I've had to make, I think, in order to better the club and be honest to myself.
You said the chairman wanted you to just say, what did the chief executive say? Do you hold the same view?
I'm about to go in there. That's next port of call. So I only just got off the phone to Neil just before I walked in here with you guys. He's over in Boston at the moment, raising money for a worthy cause on a marathon. So I had to rush in here and jump onto you guys. That's my next port of call.
Cool, good stuff. Thank you,
Tony. Could I just ask a final question on that? Sorry to keep you, mate.
That's right. It's George King that you keep.
But I would imagine that the Rovers fans, who will all know about this now, of course, would obviously want you to stay. I mean, is there any way that they could sort of raise a petition that would make you change your mind?
No. I don't.
Right. Okay.
Your
mind's made up, and that's it.
I'd request that there is no hustle and come back, you know, towards the club. That'd be my worst nightmare. I want this place to prosper. I want it to keep going, and I want it to go in the most successful direction it can go in. Far from the opposite. Please don't. I don't want any sort of retaliation towards the club of, you know, my decision, any way, shape, or form. Fine if people want to focus that on me, and I'd prefer it on me than anywhere else. I don't want anybody and my players and anybody else affected by my decision, you know. And you know, I'm just being grown up about this and making sure that I take care of all what's necessary, and that's the people who are dearest to me and myself, and making sure that the people that I care for here, the players, are getting the optimum they can get out of our club. And you know, I've decided at the end of this year, that's me. You know, my time will have been well spent up until then.
Okay, mate, and good luck. Thanks, Tony.
Thanks, Martin.
Thank you, Tony.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah, cheers, Tony. Thank you.